Just when you thought things couldn't get weirder as we approach Media Day, Quentin Grimes says, take this. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers podcast, live from the Xfinity Lounge as we hang out with you with one more day to go until Media Day.
Thank goodness for that.
But even with that, the questions are still going to be there about Quentin Grimes because it doesn't look like he will be there. So things will have to change a little bit in terms of how that goes. Before we get started with Derek and Kyle, we do want to say that, of course, our show is presented by Rothman Orthopedics. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY. And Ford. Visit your local Ford store. How many years, Kyle?
48 straight years of excellence.
It's been like 48 weeks, it seems like, with Quentin Grimes here, Derek.
I got to say, Devon, you said just when you thought things couldn't get weirder. Buddy, I've covered this team for a long time. I know it can always get weirder.
I just meant
The
with this
contract standoff is positively normal on the Sixers scale.
this particular situation, with
Yeah.
October 1st being the date that it's been looming over, it got weird.
I remember a couple years back when they got fined for the PJ Tucker and Daniel House thing, and there was the investigation opened. I'm sitting there in like mid-August. I'm like, man, this has been a really normal offseason. And somebody responded to me on Twitter, like, they just got fined for tampering, right? I'm like, look, compared to everything else that happens with this franchise, that is a normal basketball thing.
Not even close on
Yes.
the scale of things.
Yeah, so we thought maybe they'll surprise us with the signing over the weekend, right before they board their flight for Abu Dhabi and head out there for the games next week. Well, Kyle, you write a story about why hasn't Quentin Grimes signed with the Sixers just yet? And at the end of the show, we had a report come down from Shams on ESPN discussing both Jonathan Kuminga and Quentin Grimes, two restricted free agents where their situations are unresolved. The one we care about most, Quentin Grimes. And that one just seems like it's all over the place right now. So as we talked about it at the end, just from some of the things that you guys were reading there from the chat and some of the people that were writing some quotes of what Shams had to say while we were doing the show in the moment and discussing where they're very far apart.
Yeah.
And could there be a balloon payment, which we were talking about? Could there be a balloon payment? What about the qualifying offer? Is there any extension that could still be on the horizon? The fact that it was also mentioned that this is the first formal offer that Quentin Grimes' team has gotten from the Philadelphia 76ers. All of it. So here's what you need to know. Grimes and the team right now are far apart on the deal. Grimes' side is asking for more time. Can they get a bit of an extension until October 8th? Quentin Grimes has until October 1st, but he's asking for that extension. And free agency, as we talk about those many, many, many weeks, free agency got underway June 30th. Officially, teams could sign their free agents on July 6th. It is September 25th with free agency pretty much done, cleared out outside of these two restricted free agents and some big names that are still out there, but their careers at a point where they're still out there and they'll figure out where they're going to go at some point. Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, etc. Two names there. We're getting ready for Media Day, and he's not signed yet. Kyle, why is he not signed as of yet?
Well, they just are not anywhere near one another on the terms of the deal, right? So I laid it out yesterday, or last night, I should say. There's obviously reporting from Shams, reporting from Tony Jones at The Athletic, and you guys can see the picture pretty clearly. And it's that Quentin Grimes wants a lot of money. The Sixers don't want to give him that much money and don't feel like they are in a position where they need to. There is no external factor that says we should pony up in this offer, right? We shouldn't move off of our position that we think we're offering Quentin something fair, market value, however you want to put it. And on top of that, I don't think they went into the offseason knowing or thinking we're going to be drafting VJ Edgecombe number 3 overall. Obviously, that's where they ended up. But when they made the trade for Quentin Grimes and you look ahead, months ahead to restricted free agency, that specific player being on the team is not necessarily on the radar. And so having drafted Edgecombe, having Maxey and McCain already on board, it creates a scenario where they just don't feel like there's a lot of reason to move off of where they're at. And part of the reason this has dragged on is because it has been very clear around the league for some time prior to Quentin Grimes arriving in Philadelphia. And a big part of the reason that he's been on 4 teams now in the span of 2 years, albeit a couple of those are, limited seasons, is that he's made it pretty clear to the teams he's played for when he reached free agency, he was after a big payday. Like, he believes in himself, right? And I wrote yesterday that cuts 2 ways, right? So if you're a role player with that much conviction and that much belief, like, hey, I should make X, Y, Z, there are some teams that are just going to look at you and say, thank you, but no thank you. You can be someone else's problem. But that level of confidence and conviction is why when you come to a situation like he did last year where chips are down, to say the least, for the team and everyone's injured, he's able to walk in with confidence, put the ball in his hands, and he had probably the best individual stretch of his career. So as of now, what I have heard is that he is more than likely going to take this right up to the October 1st deadline. There is no expectation that he'll be at media day, no expectation that he's going to be on the trip to Abu Dhabi. And from what I heard, and Tony Jones at The Athletic also reported this yesterday, Grimes' side has asked for more time. We've brought up the October 1st qualifying offer deadline is a deadline, but you can get an extension on that. Grimes' side has asked about that. I don't think the Sixers have been receptive to it. I think their position is, you've had 3 months.
I mean,
make a decision.
Come on.
And I also think, and this is me editorializing rather than reporting here, I think when you're 3 months into this and the word out there is you're threatening to or considering to take the qualifying offer, but then you go to the team and say, can I get another week? All that really says is you don't want to take the qualifying offer, right? You're kind of giving away your position. You want, rightfully so, long-term money. That's as straightforward as it can get, right? And so I don't think the Sixers are going to blink. I would say that I think they are probably posturing a little too strongly on the if Quentin comes back on the qualifying offer, we'll be fine with that. I think that's a negative outcome. Derek has laid out the particulars behind why that's a negative outcome for the Sixers and for Quentin Grimes, but it is going to come down, it seems like, to the last possible day, perhaps even the last possible hour, unless there's an extension. And I think it really is setting up to be a tough spot for Quentin Grimes. If he takes that qualifying offer, the fear that I've had for him, that I've expressed all summer, is that you don't get buried in the rotation, but the Sixers will more than likely, if I had to guess, say, we just drafted a kid number 3 overall. We're happy to give him more opportunities.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned this on yesterday's show while we were sort of reacting to everything live and on air. And by the way, thank you everyone for transcribing what Sham said. You really did us a solid there on that one, because we obviously couldn't sit here and listen to it. But my initial reaction was like, well, they've got to do a balloon deal. And this just makes the most, like, if you're not able to come to terms on a long-term deal, a balloon deal makes the most sense for both parties. And there's some sentiment that, like, we saw this with Thomas in Brooklyn, where, like, you want to keep that no trade because you want to make sure that you don't get traded to a team that's not going to play you. But I also think, like, Grimes wants the possibility to be traded to be kept in play, because, like I said at various points throughout this offseason, like, for Quentin Grimes, you want as many teams to be able to pay you as realistically as possible. Mm-hmm. And that's going to come from the 10 or so teams who have cap space next year. But another way is to go to a team where the team that holds your rights has a pathway towards bringing you back on a, what's going on?
There was a bird dive bombing outside the window that I was like, what the hell was that?
But you want to be on a team at the end of the year who has both the capability of signing you to a long-term deal and the interest in signing you. And, we've talked a lot where if he comes back on a 1-year deal and waives a no-trade clause, he loses his bird rights. So that means you want to keep those non-bird rights in play. And the non-bird rights allow you a max starting salary of 20% of the previous year. So I think Quentin, if he can get the Sixers to give him like a 1-year, let's say right around the mid-level deal, I think that makes sense for the Sixers because it maximizes his trade value, both because teams can use that non-taxpayer mid-level as a trade exception to acquire the player. And also because they can then realistically view him as a long-term piece, not as a rental. But also it helps Quentin because he has one more team then that could theoretically pay him. And it just feels like if you're not able to get to a 3 or a 4-year deal, it behooves both sides to not take that qualifying offer, to take a 1-year balloon payment, however much that will be. Like I said, I think there's real benefit to both sides. There's only one party that I think would actually be against that. And I'm sick of talking about Josh Harris and his reluctance to pay luxury tax, but you can't completely ignore it because it would make it tougher to deduct the tax. But I think that is probably the most logical pathway out, unless that gap is completely bridged. And, you know, it's tough to sit here and analyze because we can't sit here and say who's in the wrong, right? We can't tell you whether or not Daryl Morey is lowballing him or whether Quentin Grimes is unrealistic. Certainly based off of what we had heard earlier in the offseason, it seemed like Quentin was unrealistic at that time, but nobody really knows how much those two sides have come, you know, closer on the numbers. It is, you know, I think even a 1-year balloon payment is not the best option by any stretch of the imagination. Like you want this guy on a, whether it's a 2+1 or a 3 or just a true 4-year deal, you want him here long-term, both because he is a good player and a young player, just turned 24, but also he is a real trade chip that gives you a lot of flexibility. And the Sixers do have, you know, a number of pretty high-value first-round picks still at their disposal to trade, but you need to have something to match salary with, and he would be massive in that. I hope they can figure it out.
One thing on the numbers and the closeness or lack thereof of the offers. I was talking with Devon about this before the show. To me, there is something that is very telling about this whole saga from Grimes' side. There have been basically no concrete leaks on what the Sixers offers are, right? I think we have a general idea of they've put some year structures on the table, like a 2+1, a 4-year deal, now this 1-year balloon payment. But we haven't heard concrete numbers. And I think that's revealing in that, okay, so Quentin Grimes' camp wants X, right? The Sixers want to offer Y. If Quentin Grimes and his agent believe that presenting the Sixers offer to the public, like leaking it to someone, whether it's someone on this set, a national reporter, whoever it might be, if they believe the leaking that would help their cause, like it would cause outrage in the fan base, oh, they're offering 3 for 24 or something like, right? That would have leaked by now. Right. If they had presented some kind of disrespectful, like, oh my God, why are you lowballing this guy so badly? That would have come out by now. So that to me tells a story at least a little bit, right? I don't think this is a situation where Daryl Morey and Sixers ownership and the rest of the Sixers front office is like, yeah, we're trying to pay you ridiculously low wages, right? Now, they're not offering what he wants, but I have not heard anything or seen anything, whether it's reading the tea leaves, talking to people around the league, to suggest like, man, they're insulting this guy with what they're putting forward. And to circle back to the first formal offer thing as well, I said it yesterday, and I feel even stronger about this having asked around yesterday. It's definitively not true that it's not like this was the first time they talked numbers this offseason, right? They talked at the very beginning of free agency. There have been discussions in the months since, right? And numbers have been exchanged. Now, is that like we put a formal contract in front of you? No. But presenting it as no formal offers is a little bit shady, is what I would say. It's making it seem like the Sixers just hung up the phone all summer and didn't talk to Quentin Grimes, didn't talk to Quentin Grimes' agent, when the truth is both sides have thrown numbers around. They've both rejected premises from the other. And so there's been no, like, if someone says, hey, we'll give you, I'm just making up these numbers. Someone said, I'm going to give you $20 million a year. And the other side says, absolutely not. You're not going to then give them a contract that says, hey, here's a contract offer for $20 million a year. You're going to let some time pass. You're going to come back with a counter or a different offer. And then if you get somewhere, then the formal offer comes, right? So I think that's a bit of a misnomer. And I tried to clarify that in my reporting yesterday. But it certainly seems like the closer we get to this, just by definition, the qualifying offer or that balloon payment that Derek mentioned is a more likely outcome. And I would not have guessed that at the start of this offseason.
My thing has always come back to, and I've been saying this since we've been talking about this together all off season, before the off season even started, because of what he was doing at the end of the year. He bet on himself from the last year with the Dallas Mavericks, and it seemed like he won. From at least the reports that we got out of Dallas about what the Mavericks were offering, somewhere in the same ballpark of, someone brought it up too, the Caleb Martin contract from last summer. That was like 4 for 30, whatever. And I'd imagine the Sixers are way higher than that today. And with him betting, winning that bet, throwing those chips in there, why are you not taking that? Outside of the fact that you are looking similarly to what Cam Thomas, as you brought him up earlier, where all these stories were coming out of there of, he believes he's on the same level as all of these other players that have gotten $150 million because of their situations with their particular franchises. And if Quentin Grimes thinks he's going to go on the open market next summer based off of play that happened at the end of the 24-25 season, with a different role that he's going to have in the 25-26 season, with the Sixers hope that they have their full complement of their roster, where he's not asked to do the things that he did in the role that he did last season. What do you believe you're going to get next summer with a better player pool that's going to be there for the 26th summer and what you're going to get paid? Unless you just believe that the salary cap and all is going to be a little different where he can get that kind of money back. But based on what play? Is it they just believe that you were in a totally different spot? You're going to go now to another team that's not looking to win, that's just going to pay you, and then people are going to question you about, are you looking to win or are you just looking to get paid? And that's where we are right now. And it seems like he's looking, not saying that he doesn't want to win, but he clearly is trying to take advantage of an opportunity that was there early, but is no longer there because there are no counters from other teams to throw him an offer sheet to give him a big number. It's just this, which is a different number of this from the Sixers, and that's all. And that's, so I don't know, and that's always where I've come to, because the role is going to be completely different with this collection of talent if they're healthy, where you're going to be most likely be the fifth option on the basketball team. And if you are waiting this long, and VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain come into camp and play well, Jared McCain was talked about when we were with the Hamas last year at training camp, as they were pumping him up to be the best player in camp. We were saying they were lying, and then he came out and he did what he did for those 23 games. And if VJ Edgecombe comes out and plays well, they have a head start on him. Even though he has 4 years of NBA experience, they have a head start of where he has to now crack that rotation and maybe try to get back into a starting role and those minutes. And it's just asking a lot, and it just doesn't seem like that's a great approach to the start of the season.
I mean, and it's just editorializing here, but he's acting like someone who truly believes that there is a Josh Giddey-like 4-year, $80, $90, $100 million offer waiting for him next summer. Maybe that's because he's an unrestricted free agent. Maybe that's because there's more teams with cap space than there are this year. And on its surface, just looking at those two factors, I think he should have a stronger market next year. But what you bring up is 100% true, where he's just not going to have that same role. He's not going to have those touches. And as much as we might try to contextualize stuff as basketball evaluators, people are going to look at a drop in numbers and their interest is going to naturally cool. It's just going to happen. And then you factor in, well, the Sixers might not be incentivized to feature him like they would if he was a long-term piece, yada, yada, yada. He is taking a big gamble. You know, like I said, I think in his mind, he's going to get, let's say, $90 million next summer. Let's say he gets a $12 million balloon payment this year. It's $102 million over 5 years.
Right.
Great. I just don't think that's all that realistic.
And look, maybe Team X next summer goes back to what he did in 24-25 and say, we believe he can do that. In a larger role, we believe he can do that. And he can play the role that he just did coming off of whatever playoffs.
We got a detour.
All right, let's detour.
Tim Bontemps, breaking news. Jared McCain suffered a UCL tear in his right thumb during a workout today. Sources told ESPN he and the team are working with specialists to decide how they will proceed. Philadelphia set to hold media day tomorrow. So Jared McCain, UCL tear in the right thumb, shooting hand, by the way, during a workout Thursday, the day before media day. and it's still too early to decide how they'll treat it, if that's a non-surgical option, if it will require surgery. Not good.
Not good. Not good at all. Well, as we talk about that, and even
I'll be on the horn.
Yeah, you be on the horn. Derek, as we talk about that, Quentin Grimes is like, you need me now? You need me a little bit now? As we discuss this. All right, let's take a quick pause. We'll come back. We'll dive into this a little bit more. According to Tim Bontemps, UCL tear.
I'm going to be honest. I do not like what I'm seeing on the surgical options on recovery for this. So Quentin Grimes may have just gotten a gift for opportunity.
Yes, he did.
Right out the chute.
Yes, he did. All right, so quick pause. We come back. We'll dive into a little bit more as the guys do a little research. We got some people that we want to talk about, and that is our good friends here that help us bring the show to you on a daily basis. We'll come back. We'll talk about the latest news with Jared McCain, UCL tear according to ESPN. We'll discuss it right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. Deep sigh from Derek.
Guys, at some point you will be excited to watch Sixers basketball. I promise you there might even be a player or two that is healthy. And when you do that, you're going to want to make sure you're in a good spot, because we've all had it where we go to someone's house, you get there, their setup's a mess. Buffering, it's lagging. It's not a fun time at all. But if you call yourself a basketball fan, you have to have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch, it's next level. Got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like I'm in the arena. Sometimes we even have 4 games going at once, because if you can, why would you not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats. You also have to watch other teams other than the Sixers, because it can get a little frustrating. On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
All right, and if you're looking for a dealership with the most inventory and super low lease payments in the Philadelphia area, you have to head to our friends Kia of CherryHill.com. That's the place to go. You can choose from over 450 new Kias, including Tellurides, Sportages, K5s, Carnivals, Celtos, and Souls, plus more. Got to tell you, Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 7 of their models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice awards. They're amazing considering there were more than 450 models tested and only 20 models industry-wide that received this award. So stop in today. Tell them PHLY sent you and receive a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade appraisal. I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available 24/7 at KiaofCherryHill.com. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast here on this Thursday, one day before Media Day. And with that, we got to tell you about the big deal. The big deal now that just dropped before we went to break. And the big deal is, of course, from Cherry Hill Kia. Make sure you visit them, as I just told you, when you go check them out. We presented by Cherry Hill here. Make sure you visit them at KiaofCherryHill.com. So, Jared McCain, UCL Spring, as you doing some homework there, Kyle, what more have you come across?
UCL tears, are also most sprains are tears for anyone who's, not a veteran of dealing with sports medicine.
Veteran of the injury wars.
So the severity of the tear, we still need to get more information for, right? So there are 3 types of sprains. One of those is a mild, where it's stretched and it's not torn. That's typically not a surgical procedure. There's a grade 2 where it's a partial tear. That type of UCL tear normally involves a loss of function. Whether surgery is recommended or required is case-by-case basis, I believe. A grade 3 sprain, which is the most severe, is a complete tear or the ligament is detached from the bone. Those are significant, and those do require surgical care. So we need to figure out first what type of injury this is, or what severity of injury this is for Jared. Obviously, this is not great. I think there was a recent example of Anthony Simons in Portland a couple years ago, tore his UCL in his right hand. I believe he is a righty, right? If I remember correctly.
Yep.
So also in his shooting hand. He suffered that on October 25th, so very early in the season for the Blazers. They gave an initial timeline of about 6 weeks. So I will say, this is a great reason. I hate they have the AI overview when you Google things on injuries. I was trying to do a quick scan before I'm texting my people that I trust on this stuff. And it said 6 months. And I was like, oh my God, that doesn't sound right. Looking around and asking some people, most of these surgeries you should be able to get back in hopefully 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
That would put Jared around Thanksgiving-ish, a little before Thanksgiving, returning, if everything goes smoothly, if he gets it done right away, if they decide surgery is necessary, and if it all goes smoothly from there.
So I pulled up In Street Clothes, which has a database of all kinds of injuries. And in an article that he wrote, he said, thankfully, surgery has a very high success rate, and studies show rarely result in a dip in performance. The average number of missed games for in-season UCL repairs in the NBA is roughly 22 games.
Yeah, so I pulled up the Simons. Simons tore it in a game on the 25th of October. He played next on the 6th of December.
Okay, so like 6 weeks-ish.
Yeah,
So
like almost right on that
November.
6 week mark.
That's around November for you as you just laid that out. Okay.
So we'll try to get more information on Jared as to, how he tore it. It could be as simple as,
Catching
got
a basketball.
jammed or
Yeah.
who knows. But it's a bummer because, especially on a personal level, right? Like Jared went through the injury last year. He was playing so well. Better for his long-term health that he had the 6 month, the longer timeline of recovery for the meniscus procedure, but has been working very hard to get back on the floor. We've seen him in the gym. He has shown us himself on YouTube and elsewhere that he's getting after it and get ready for the season. And now he has another setback, and he's going to have to jump into the season midstream, right? Like it might be just a 6 week recovery, and it might just be like, first few weeks of the season or so. But even still, that's an opening few weeks where they can start establishing a rotation. Like guys are going to start finding their roles and finding their combinations, and Jared's going to come back. I think one of the most immediate concerns that I would have, I think we look to Jared in a lot of our conversations this offseason as he's kind of the backup point guard as far as we were looking at it, right? He showed the playmaking chops last year, a bit of a like for Maxey, where you have the dynamic off-ball shooting and you can run the offense. You can do a little bit of everything. I think if anyone benefits from this, it might be VJ Edgecombe, because if he doesn't start, this shapes up for when Maxey's off the floor, VJ might get the chance to just run the show, right, early in the season.
Yeah.
Or for Quentin Grimes, if you're Quentin Grimes and you get a deal agreed to, you might get those same or similar opportunities, albeit with a Joel Embiid, albeit maybe with Paul George and other guys alongside you, to run the offense, to be the guy at the point of attack. So there will be guys who in the short term get different and increased opportunities from this. But obviously first you say, sorry to hear for Jared, and hopefully he gets healthy soon.
Yeah, it stinks because what he suffered last year with that knee injury, just ruining a great rookie campaign to start off, where it looks like he was headed for. He already won the Rookie of the Month for October and November. He was already there. He was a leader, and at least early on, Rookie of the Year. And that was for the 16th overall pick, where there are a lot of questions surrounding that draft choice in the first place. But he played really well, and everyone was excited for him to come back in year two. Also, because of him coming back from that injury and the excitement level of the team, as we were wondering, hey, could he even play in Summer League because of all the time that he had off? They were being very cautious. They made sure that he rehabbed properly. He could participate in some things with the Summer League team, but holding off until you got to training camp ahead of the Abu Dhabi trip, and then preseason and all, and then the regular season. Now you get this news, and you feel bad for the kid because of all the work that he did, all the positivity, all the things that he has talked about, what he did to get back to feeling good about getting ready for his second year, missing out on so much time. and then you get this a day before media day, 2 days before practices start, and it just really stinks for the kids. So once again, if everybody is just tuning in and you're wondering, what exactly are you talking about? Well, Tim Bontemps of ESPN says that Jared McCain suffered a UCL tear in his right thumb during a workout today. He and the team are working with specialists to decide how they will proceed, sources say to Tim. No timeline as of yet, and we'll see how it goes. That is, of course, our big deal presented by Cherry Hill Kia. I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. That is our big deal. It's a big deal right now for the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, visit kiaofcherryhill.com for your vehicle of choice. All right, let's take our break. We'll come back. We'll keep it going on this conversation. We're also going to talk about more of Media Day, that we had some things planned for you as we continue to try to get more information about Jared McCain and this particular UCL tear and what it could mean. We'll talk about it all as we hang out with you on this Thursday, the day before Media Day, right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast.
Well, guys, the only stronger guarantee than Sixers nonsense before the season starts is having a good time at the Excite Center at Parks Casino. The Excite Center is one of many things to love about our casino of choice. Parks Casino is Pennsylvania's #1 casino, and it's so close to Philadelphia. Located at Ben Salem, you take the Street Road exit off of I-95 and the PA Turnpike. There's a little something for everybody if you go to the Excite Center. They got Everclear coming through soon, so they'll sing Santa Monica and many other songs better than I certainly can when I'm at the bar at karaoke. So if you're into that, Air Supply is going to be there. Bill Murray is coming through town. Ken Jeong coming in. All kinds of people, big names, funny people, great musicians coming through the Excite Center at Parks Casino. It's the state-of-the-art entertainment venue located inside Parks, named one of the best places to see the country's best comedians and music headliners. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And I hate to do this as we get the news about the Sixers and Jared McCain, but I got to talk about my good people, our presenting sponsor here, and that is Rothman Orthopedics. And with that bummer of that news and all, well, one thing I do know about Rothman Orthopedics is they do specialize in all areas of the body, including hand and wrist. And in this case for Jared McCain, that is certainly the hand with that thumb. So if you're dealing with something as severe as that when it comes to your hand, maybe just a wrist, Rothman Orthopedics is the place for you. 180-plus fellowship-trained physicians specializing in the specific areas of the body, including the hand and wrist, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation, orthopedic oncology, and trauma and fracture care as well. So if pain is slowing you down this season, something like that thumb, you got to take that first step, and that is to head to rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Schedule your appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, their mission. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast here on this Thursday.
Not to whiplash people, because we went from Quentin Grimes to, wow, Jared McCain, but now maybe back to Quentin Grimes. Just relaying this from Gina Mizell at the Inquirer, who posted this on Blue Sky. She's reporting the latest she's hearing on the Grimes situation. His agent is claiming, as of about 3:15 today, the Sixers' formal offer, as we just discussed, if they were lowballing him, they would say it. So maybe this is that opportunity right now. From Gina Mizell says 4 years, $39 million is what the Sixers are offering.
Okay, that's a low ball.
That is a low
That's
ball.
a low ball.
I agree that that's a low ball. While Grimes and his agent, David Bauman, believe that Grimes should get $20 to $25 million annually.
Yeah, I disagree with both of them.
So I think that's a perfect way of putting it, Derek. I think 4 years and 39 absolutely counts as a low ball.
Yeah,
and that is something you should be leading with.
Yes.
That's so good on Gina for getting a number. Bad on the Sixers for going that low, right? And bad on Grimes and his agent for not recognizing that you're not going to get $25 million.
No, if I was Quentin Grimes, I would not if I was Grimes' agent, you don't take that. You just don't take it. You take that $9 million qualifying offer and you try next year.
If that is true, and obviously we'll have to make our own phone calls and texts and whatnot, but it would make more sense that he hasn't signed a deal if they're giving him a 4-year, $39 million offer. Like that to me is not in the ballpark of what he is worth or prove that he is worth over the last 4 years.
He was worth that when he was playing a role player role before getting here. Like that's not even factoring in any kind of we think he can we think he can scale up his production if asked to do so. Like
you can say ramp up.
No,
that's fine.
I'm
it's a chaotic show today, not by design, but you have an excuse today.
No, he should not accept that.
No,
right in the middle, but I do think like in the middle of those two realities is where they should be.
Is the 14 to 16 we've been talking about this whole darn
60,
time. Yes.
4 for 72, something like that. 4 for 100, no. 4 for less than 40, no.
Absolutely not.
I think both of those are ridiculous.
Absolutely not. That's just a hair over what it was reported that was offered by the Dallas Mavericks. He said no then. Why is he going to say yes to that now after the second half of the season that he had? You're just not.
Yeah.
No.
And I want to say, because McCain, we got sidetracked and we'll get back to him in a second. Part of what I wanted to say in that first segment to close things out, right, is like, I have said a lot this summer about, I think the Sixers have more leverage. I understand why they're playing things the way that they have. On the other side of it, it should not be lost that Quentin Grimes is a good basketball player, right?
Yes.
Like he can think he's worth more than the public, more than the Sixers, more frankly than 3 other teams that he's played for, and that's fine. It does not change that he's good at basketball, right? And he's good at basketball in a meaningful way because last year what it did for him was prove, I think what his thesis was that I'm better than being a 3-and-D standstill role player, right? Like I think he has had that conviction. Other teams were not convinced. He got the opportunity to prove it, and he showed that he can be more than that. But if he were in that type of role, right? If you do ask him to play more of that 5th option, 4th option, scaled down role, he's also good at that, right? He is a good off-ball shooter. He is a good 2-way player, right? So when I get upset or frustrated or like, why haven't you signed a deal? It's not because I think that he shouldn't demand what he's worth. Like I'm not trying to take passively the position of the team, like, oh, everything they do is right. It's more that I have seen the downside for guys in his spot who keep betting on themselves and then find themselves empty-handed at the casino, right? Like Nerlens Noel, perfect example. He got exactly, I think, the 4 for 72 offer
From Dallas.
Said I'm worth more than that and I can make more than that, and then never got anything approaching that again. Dennis Schroeder is another one. Dennis Schroeder got a big offer in free agency, said he was going to bet on himself, never got anything approaching that type of offer again.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and I think it was Dave P who basically, I don't have his comment in front of me, basically like, why would you overpay him? Well, you're at the point now where and also mentioning that Grimes has no leverage. Well, no, when you're offering him less than $10 million a year, he does have leverage. That qualifying offer is almost the exact same amount. And he's probably very confident he will get $10 million a year as an unrestricted free agent with more teams with cap space next summer. His leverage is that you're not giving him anything that he is going to regret turning down. And he has that $9 million qualifying offer sitting there on the table he can accept whenever he wants. This is not 2005. Like $9 million a year for a basketball player is a bench player. Like people in the chat are like,
it's lower than the non-taxpayer MLE.
Yes, but like significantly lower than the non-taxpayer MLE. This is not, the salary cap has gone up so much. People are like, he's not great. No, he's not great, but he's worth more than $9 million a year. Yes.
And so I didn't see this in the chat since you brought up what Dave P was saying. Did he give of what is an overpay?
I don't know. I didn't see every comment.
Okay. All right. Because I would, for something like that, then what do you consider being overpaid? Because 4 for 39 is not an overpay. That's disrespectful based on what he did last season and what he could be for this basketball team. So I want to know Dave P, what's an overpay? If you say that about what this report is offered at 4 for 39.
I think Dave's just being like, they should not spend more than they have to. And my counter to that is to get him to sign, you are going to have to pay more than you're currently offering because he has other avenues to get $40 million over the next 4 years.
More than you have to is a sliding scale.
Yeah.
What you have to pay is what he agrees to, right? So he's apparently not interested, rightfully so, I think, in 4 for 39.
Yeah.
So
if that
what you have to pay is by definition more than 4 for 39.
So if that number is right, I was so wrong as to wondering why he has not taken this offer yet. Yes. So
we can sit here and say that. Like I expected their baseline offer to be higher than that. If that's true, we obviously have to
even as
preface
low
that
as,
with we think if it's true.
As low as 15 is where I would say it should have started if we're talking about low. So Dave P says 4 for anything over 60. And I'm certainly okay with 4 for 60. I thought he would probably get closer to 70. But to your point, 4 for anything over 60. So you're all right with 60 being the number. That's fine. I'm good with that because that's $15 million a year for over 4 years, and that's
team
right
press release on Jared McCain, by the way.
Okay,
but no more information.
New.
It's just tearing his right thumb during a workout today, consulting with specialists. Further updates provided as appropriate.
Okay, man, that sucks for him.
Sorry, a lot of. I feel like I'm just the breaking news guy today, and just like, hey,
you got it, man. Because as soon as you said it. And you came right back to it. I said, now what does this mean for Quentin Grimes? Does he now have a leg to stand on where he can go back to them and say, all right, once they figure out whatever the severity of it is and how long it's going to take, they do their MRIs and they do get a timeline here. Does Quentin Grimes in his camp, do they have an opportunity to come back to the Sixers and say, what do you want to do? You want to up that number? Do you want to get in there and go from there?
So I'll go through some guys that are in the 4 for 39 is what, 9.5? Somewhere in that range. It's under 10.
It's under 10. It's right under 10.
So guys that are making
what is that number even
roughly in that range, right? I'm just going to run through some names. I'll try to skip through players that are on rookie contracts. So Caleb Martin, obviously, he's making right around 9.5. Aaron Wiggins, and his deal is decreasing. Let's see. Najee Marshall making 9. Jalen Smith making about 9. Lonzo Ball making 10 a year. Derrick Jones Jr. making 10 a year. Sam Hauser making 10, escalating up to about 12.4 over the next 3-4 years.
Okay,
Royce O'Neal making 10.1.
So from the Sixers thinking, I see it because of the role that he plays on the basketball team and their roles on
Aaron
their team.
Nesmith about 11 a year.
I see it. I get it, but I think he overperformed in the role that was also given to him when the chips were down for them and they needed to just go out there and play a basketball game. He showed that he can do so much more.
So we'll go up to more of that. We talked about 15 million, right? I think that would be a good compromise. 4 for 60. About at 14 million, you have Obi Toppin, Corey Kispert, Denny Avdia, Jonathan Isaac, Isaiah Stewart, Onyeka Okongwu at 15 exactly, Max Strus, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Klay Thompson at about 16.6. And that's older Klay, right? Obviously, younger Klay is worth more than that. Lou Dort is at 17.7 this year.
You shouldn't make that because...
So, I do think it's probably, if you were saying he gets exactly what market value should be, it would probably be between the, 9 whatever they're offering and the 15 that I think we were suggesting. But he's also 25, prime age, health history is good, two-way player, right? Like, I don't think it's crazy for him to set a high bar for himself.
And the scale up of it all from what we saw, if you think that is translatable from the role that he had, you saw him already in the other role with New York, Detroit, and Dallas. And you even saw it a little bit in Philadelphia before they asked him to do a little bit more. if you believe like at 25 is translatable, and there are times where Paul George is going to miss time. Right now, Jared McCain is going to be out for a decent amount of time. And others, can he do other things while they're out? We don't know if he can do it in a meaningful way when they're asked to really win games and continue to pile up, as we keep saying, pile up W's as the season still matters versus what we saw when the season did not matter at the end of the year. But we saw that the guy can score. And they needed scoring and ball handling and the two-way ability to defend too on the other end. So if we're now putting it in that 9 to 15 range, I think the 4 for 39, that's just a wrong number to throw at him. And I think he's well within his right to say no to that and want to then see what else he can get on the open.
Now I'll give you a bunch of names that are in the, let's say, $20 to $25 million, which is where he's saying, this is what I'm worth. I feel like I should get this. Aaron Gordon,
no.
DeAndre Hunter, DeMar DeRozan, Jaden McDaniels. Prior to the new deal, Mikal Bridges.
No.
Trey Murphy. Now here's an outlier.
And by the way, Trey Murphy's like what, 21, 20?
Yeah.
21,
and treated a little differently in terms of his importance to that franchise. Nick Claxton, he's making too much money, I think, relative to production.
And it was based on his team at the time. That's why he got that
Draymond
number.
Green. And your favorite, Tobias Harris, making 26.6.
And his was a 2-year deal.
So I would say a bunch of those are guys that are definitively better than Quentin Grimes and like comfortably better.
25,
now,
no.
Sometimes that's tough because a lot of those were signed like 2 or 3 years ago when the salary cap would have been significantly less. So like there's, contracts escalate, basketball income escalates. Role players now are going to be more expensive than role players from 2-3 years ago. But even still, like he's not a $25 million a year player.
But he's also not a $9 million player either. He's more than that. More than that. Yeah.
I think if everyone comes together and just has a little sense about them, and here's the other thing. Once you look at those names, if you're the Sixers, I think you do have to be like, it's hard to see a world absent a major injury or he is like the worst malcontent you've ever seen. I can't see a world where you give him around 15 a year and that's like this anchor around your neck of a contract, right? None of those guys that I'm reading the names of are like, boy, can't trade that guy on this deal. Like that's just not a problem type of number. Maybe it's a numbers problem in terms of you want to leave the runway open for VJ and Jared, right? And that's a separate thing. But pure dollars, I don't really see why you'd be that finicky to get up to, that range.
And it explains why he's waiting till the last minute. Like he's just hoping that the Sixers will come to their senses. Again, if this offer is true and yada yada, and credit to Gina for getting out there, credit for Gina for telling you where the numbers came from, so we can all make our own determination. But that is a day one offer, not a day 90 whatever.
Hey,
offer.
We're going to offer you this, and then you go to somebody else on July 1st and get a better offer.
Yeah.
See what you can get.
Yeah.
That's not a September 25th offer in this scenario.
All right. So, Derek, does the McCain injury, based on we don't know the full extent yet, but does this help him out for where we are right now? Because his is more immediate when it comes to when something needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the Sixers only believe that he's a $39 million over 4-year player, they're probably not going to budge to where it would need to get to. I look at these numbers and I can't help but look like, hey, you dump Kelly, you can get under the tax even with this contract.
Oh
I can't ignore that because it's just a driving force in their thing. So I don't know if they're going to change. They might just be like, okay, like he might be more acceptable coming back on a 1-year deal or a qualifying offer because he'll have 6 weeks to run up his numbers and build his case for free agency next summer. If anything, I think it might impact that. I don't think I would expect, like if the Sixers budge, I think it's mostly because of the deadline and they will finally reveal their best offer at the deadline, not so much because of the injury.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting stuff here, folks. Jared McCain, UCL tear. And they are getting, as Kyle said, they also did send out a press release, media advisory of it. And he will not be at Media Day tomorrow, so we will not speak to him tomorrow. We were hoping that we had a chance to talk to Jared McCain again ahead of the start of training camp. we will get you more information once we do, in fact, have that. Sixers playing hardball here with Quentin Grimes based on the number that Gina Mizell drops on the Sixers side. So it's Quentin Grimes' camp asking for 20 to 25 here now as a restricted free agent. We'll have all that to you for that. And so best that I have, as you guys talked about it, right now, 6 to 8 weeks for what, I just got there for that information. So we'll see what that looks like. All right, Media Day tomorrow, everybody. So with it, we still had some things that we wanted to throw out there ahead of Media Day before we talk to the guys. Maybe some things that, with all the years that we've been around Media Days and Sixer Media Days, some questions that regularly come up in these Media Days. And Kyle had some ones that he wanted to throw out there of what were some.
We were going to have a nice, light, fun end of the show, which feels weird after the Jared news and whatnot, but maybe we need that even more after the Jared news came down.
So you explain it, of course, better of what you were thinking. Again, just.
So shout out to Bo on our PHLY Eagle show. He likes to ask for some, I don't want to say wacky predictions, but things that aren't just like final score, result, things like that. And as Devon said, we've gone to plenty of these media days. We tend to have a general idea of the types of questions that get asked, the types of claims that are made by all parties. So I came up with a list of 10 questions plus a bonus question. We're all going to compete for the most points, and the winner will, I don't know what the winner's going to get, but we'll determine a winner after it's all said and done.
Maybe you can tell them based on your our Amazon friends and what they have going on.
You know what, Devon?
We can give a fake,
Yeah, maybe I'll get you an Amazon gift card. Maybe that'll be my present to you. So if you guys want to get a gift from our community, we want to thank you for being part of it. Number one, we're always looking to improve our shows and better understand how you listen, what you value here the most. So we have a quick survey. Your feedback helps us shape the content you love, make it even better. It takes a few minutes, but it makes a big difference for how the show runs, what type of stuff you guys get to see. So I just need you guys to go allphly.com/survey. Let your voice be heard. All respondents have a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. It only takes a few minutes of your time. So go do that. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And with that,
let's get to it.
Let's get to my master list of Media Day prediction questions.
So we're going to run into overtime, everybody. So stick around. TV, you already know. While we're not doing that right now, I'm just letting you know. TV, if you want to know what we think about these questions, when we get there at the end of the show, we'll tell you, of course, allphly.com. So just prepare. Just prepare. All right, let's go.
Okay. Question number 1.
What do you got, Bree?
Who will claim to have gained the most weight? So this is Muscle Watch at Media Day.
Are we sure?
Who will claim to have gained the most weight?
I think there's an easy answer on this one.
You go first.
I think VJ.
Okay.
Just because he's young, it's easy enough for him to put on weight.
VJ
it's
was
believable
my answer
because he's looking better than he did.
Bree, are you logging all these for me? Thank you.
Okay. I was going to go, unfortunately, I was going to go with Jared McCain.
Okay.
Beefing up for year 2.
Come on now. We saw that picture yesterday.
Possible.
He's not putting on weight lifting nut.
Wait until
he had a counter.
Wait until people make jokes about that's how he tore the UCL.
Yeah.
Man, remember just 24 hours ago, we were giving McCain credit for poking fun at that.
And he had a counter. He had a counter.
Great.
We got up to 8 pounds on that one, with that video.
A Dembona sneaky candidate here.
That is a sneaky candidate. I thought about him. He's just, but yes.
3 VJs? Or
I go McCain.
You're going McCain.
I go McCain.
2 VJs and a McCain.
Yes.
Question number 2. Who will claim to have lost the most weight?
Can I go first on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going Andre Drummond.
Oh.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm going Drummond.
I'm going Joel. Just because I think Joel is more likely to be asked about it.
All right. Okay. All right. We got a pretty good number 2 there on the Andre Drummond side.
Okay.
All right.
Number 3. Will any player, Embiid excluded, so Joel doesn't count, will any player claim
snuck that one in there.
They have a totally new diet as of this offseason? If so, who. So to lay this out, if you say no, no one claims it, you can max out at 1 point. If you say yes and you get the player, you can get 2 points for this one.
We're not even going to talk to Jared, so we have to cross Jared off the list.
But I use them for I mean, we can find out eventually. I don't know. How do you want to do this?
So my answer there would be Jared, because I feel like Jared is the type that will look into stuff like that and try to find, new ways to improve himself.
But are you saying yes or no?
I don't think we're going to talk to Jared, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, so you're a no.
No.
No? All right, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to stick with it's going to be Drummond because that matches with my number 2. So I'm either going to get all in. I'm all in on Andre, or I'm all out.
My backup would have been Kelly. Kelly was the other one I was considering.
Okay.
All right. Here's another 2-parter. Will any player claim to have gotten taller this offseason? If so, who?
Yes.
But it has to be. It's so. Part of the reason I brought this up was Maxey. There have been the photos this summer.
Yeah.
It cannot be a joke. This has to be like they very earnestly believe they grew half an inch, whatever it might be.
I'm going 21-year-old Justin Edwards.
Ooh, okay. Like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Justin Edwards. Still young enough. I'm going Justin Edwards.
I'm going VJ just because he legitimately did grow in the last year.
But you just cheated, though.
No, but I'm saying he would grow more than he already. Well,
You
no,
mean
but
from-
That's also
he just got measured.
You mean
he
from
has
high-
to specifically say this.
Okay.
This is not like his height is different.
No, I know.
This is
And
he has to say it.
I guess for me then.
Are you saying from high school to Baylor he grew?
No, well he did because we
Right.
know from the combine, but I
Yes.
guess that would have to be from the combine to now, and that's just not realistic. Okay, so I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say nobody.
I'm going to also go no for this one.
All right. I'm going to say Justin Edwards for this one.
Okay. I consider question number 5 a free space. Will Nick Nurse claim they want to play faster? Yes or no?
1,000%.
Yes, you don't draft.
It's a
Yes.
yes, and it's maybe the lock of
Yes.
all of media day.
Yes. By the way, Austin Krell says, can media members claim to have gained the most weight?
Yeah, but
it's not part of the prediction game.
I'm also not at the point in my life where I want to be gaining weight. So
Yes.
Okay. So universal yes on 5.
Yes.
Number 6. Which player is most likely to claim something was overblown by the media this offseason? I think this is an obvious answer too.
I was going to go Paul George with number 1. If anyone asks him about what happened on that show speed.
That's a good answer because that was a pretty big story.
Yeah, because it was
big
self-inflicted.
relatively.
Well, just because it was self-inflicted and it was overblown, because even though we saw you say it and we heard it. So I would say that one. But the one I think you guys are going to say is something with the Embiid article.
No.
Oh, really?
It's Kelly Oubre.
Oh, right. That the Instagram post.
I think that's where my mind is at.
Okay,
When I was
not
forming
thinking
the
that.
question.
I was not.
Kelly was who I had in mind.
no, and that's right because Philadelphia media loves to ask questions of why don't you love us, and like Kelly clapping back at
Yeah.
I think he'll say
Good
it
call.
was just an Instagram comment.
I will
whatever.
stick to the Paul George one just because I
Yeah,
said it. So
'cause
I'll stick to that
a
one.
lot of this comes down to will they be asked about it, and I think there's a high chance Kelly will. Yeah.
I also think George
Okay,
would be
so
asking
do we
about
want to
that. Yes.
hit our overtime and we'll
Overtime,
continue this?
everybody. Thank you. On the Fast Channel, the TV side. We appreciate it as always, all week long. We'll be back tomorrow. Big day tomorrow, Media Day. We will have everything for you from the sights, sounds, what we saw, what we heard, who we talked to, who we didn't talk to at 3 p.m. when we get back here tomorrow, Friday. Post-Media Day right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. If you want to continue with these questions, Media Day questions, pre-Media Day questions that Kyle has prepared, head on over to allphly.com for the remainder of the show here today. And even if something happens, we get more information about Jared McCain and Quentin Grimes, you'll want to be here for the rest of this show at allphly.com. So thank you all for tuning in right here.
Okay, question number 7. And this is a line. It's an over-under. Over-under 1.5 players who pose as media and ask a question to a fellow player on media day.
Over under?
1.5 is the line.
Over. Oh, shoot. Well, no, McCain. Okay, hold on.
I would say under, and the only
So
one
McCain is a real that throws a wrench in it because Maxey is the guy
He's
that
Maxey
number
does
one.
it all the
does.
time. Yeah.
I'll give you another.
McCain would have been number 2.
Yeah.
I
That-
think number 3 then, I think Andre Drummond is that type that would want to do that as well. Personality-wise, I would say Andre Drummond. So I'll say over.
So Kyle's 2 were the exact 2 I was thinking of because Maxey has done it a bunch in the past. It's
absolutely.
almost like a lot
Maxey
that
is
he
a
will
lot,
do it. Yeah.
but I think the other one would be...
I think if there's a third one, I think it is Andre Drummond, but I'm going to take the under.
I could also see
VJ
because he's a
Edgecombe.
rookie, VJ could definitely. So I'm going to take the over.
I
on
say
this
the
one.
over.
All right, here's a
sticking
fun
under?
one.
Yep.
Okay.
And for the record, I'm putting nothing in the jar for this. Question 8. Over under 1.5 people who use the phrase ramp up during
Right.
media day. No, so it's not uses of it. So if Daryl says ramp up
Yeah. No,
That's
it's
one.
15
people.
times, it's one person.
Yeah.
I'm still going over.
I'm taking the under.
I'm going under also because that's a specific thing that Daryl Morey, unless Nurse jumps in there.
It's also
I
a
don't see a
PR
player.
term. I don't think that Joel or Paul or
Nah,
we'll see. So Derek is on the island on
I'm
this
going
one.
under.
Okay.
Going under.
Now the next 2 are Price is Right rules. So closest without going over. And this will actually require real work because we're going to have to go back and actually listen for these. How many times will Morey and Nurse refer to health or being healthy during their presser?
Closest number, right?
Yeah. Without going over. Now, if we all go over, nobody gets the point.
Can you
Can
say
you
that
two
one
pick
more
first?
time?
How many times will Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse refer to health or being healthy during their presser?
So like it could be either talking about Jared going forward or talking about the team last year looking
They
backwards.
have to say health
or
being healthy or something like that.
They'll also include last season in there.
Talking
that's
about
what I'm
an
asking.
injury does not count. Saying we just need to stay healthy,
Okay.
That's what we're talking
So
about.
it's not about specifics. It's about generalization health.
Yes.
I will say, you want to go halves? Like
No. Like just a number.
number?
I feel like this is something where we all have to say it at the same time.
I'll say 9. I'll say 9.
Hmm.
That's my number.
I'm going 5.
Okay, I'll take the over on both. I'll go 12.
Okay. Number 10. Final question before the bonus question. How many questions will be asked to the full group, so that's Morey, Nurse, all players, on whether Grimes' situation is or will be a distraction?
So
How many questions?
This is the type of thing where if somebody's writing a story on that, they will ask every player of even relative importance.
I would say 13 times.
I'll go less than that just because, like, I don't think you ask, like, Janai Broom.
But see, I excluded them.
Yeah, no, you did exclude a
I
couple.
excluded
I'll give you that. I'll go 8.
So Derek and I are right in the same range. I think Morey and Nurse definitely.
Yes.
Sure.
Joel, Maxey, PG. After that, it gets a little dicey.
Because I'm thinking there are different variations of the question that then pop up.
If they ask during the Morey Nurse, is that 1 or 2?
That's 2.
Okay.
I'm going to be really annoying Price is Right guy and say 9.
So I have to get exactly
So you
8.
have to get the
And I'm
exact.
way over.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to be. Listen, it's my game, so I can game it how I want, right?
I think it is.
All right, so those are the 10. We submitted our answers. Now, here is the bonus question.
Bonus. Love a bonus question.
On what day will Quentin Grimes' contract situation be resolved? Just the date. I don't need hour. Actually, that'd be fun. It'd be like doing the final score. You do the date, and then you
5:30.
do like the time of day that it is.
All right. Can I pull up my calendar? I already kind of know.
I mean, I'll just say September 30th. I don't think they extend the deadline, and I think he takes either qualifying offer the 1 year at the last day.
I think they give him an extension. I think they do it way before the extension. And I say October 2nd.
Oh.
That's game
I'm taking
day.
October 1st. And this is not a Price is Right. So if it's like the 4th or whatever, I would say Devon wins. But I also think it's more of a you either get it or you don't on this one.
Yeah,
So
I'll say October
the 1st,
2nd.
the 2nd, and you said the 30th, Derek? Was your...
September 30th.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got. So our official media day predictions have been submitted, and we'll see exactly how wrong or right we all are.
Well, our predictions are always great.
Yeah. Well, this is
a fun one, just like the next one will be when we talk about the Sixers, and then the following one with the NBA. It'll all be fun. Bree, let's get to a quick news and notes on some things that are happening around the league.
I feel like the entire show is news and notes. Jeez.
Yeah,
Just came in the middle of it, too.
Well, we got to start off with the very first one, which is the most important one, and that is Kyle Lowry, NBA Prime analyst for the season. While he's an active player, congratulations on your new gig, Kyle Lowry. As an active player, air quotes, Kyle Lowry, excited to have Kyle Lowry of the Philadelphia 76ers as a member of the Amazon Prime broadcast.
For everybody who watched the show yesterday, this was what the embargoed email that I
Kyle
received
said
that I alluded to.
During the show, I have an email that we need to talk about after the show. This was it. So let's remember this too, everybody. We've seen a number of players go on TNT, ESPN in the past, most notably Draymond Green, who has gone on a ton during the season. And Kyle Lowry, I'm guessing, is going to be in that type of role for this upcoming season, which is probably going to be his final, the 20th year of his career, his final season as he kind of leads right into the next stage of his career.
So I have two different perspectives on this. There's the part of me that's like, good for him. He's setting up the next stage of his life and career. It also indicates that he's probably not going to be playing a whole lot, right? That he's got time for a new gig and new responsibilities, and always get that bag whenever you can get it, right? On the other hand, it's definitely the like...
You always knew there was he's on the
roster. Like, and in Draymond's case, Draymond was still a high-level player. Like, he's going out there and putting up not great stats because he's not a traditional stats guy, but still, all defense level defender and all that. And it's like, well, I don't know. It's just
his teammate is an active podcaster.
we're already like, why is this guy on the roster to some extent? And then you add on like he's just got a side gig.
He's got a side gig. Line it up, man.
He's like driving an Uber on the side. It's like, come on, man. What's going on here? Like, so I don't know. It's hard to get actually mad about it, but it just adds to my like put somebody who's gonna play on the roster. Well, now like the other part with McCain, boy, if ever there was an opportunity that Kyle Lowry's gonna get some minutes early on in the season, Jared McCain injury opened the door.
Yes, it does.
And
Paul George podcasts. So Tyrese Maxey is podcasted during the season. We've seen it now. This is a little bit different, but yes, he's going to be part of the Amazon family. So there's that. So congratulations to Kyle Lowry I thought he was going to be a coach at some point. I didn't think he would want to get into
I didn't think media was going to be his.
This stuff is way easier than coaching.
Yeah, but just the way that you kind of
also, it's Amazon money. I'm sure they offered him.
Yeah, that'll help.
A nice chunk of change.
But just knowing of the people that you've known in his camp over the years and things he has not wanted to do, which is talk to the media a lot, now he's going to be in the media. And I always thought it'd be coaching that he would be passionate about and go and do that. Not to say that he won't.
He still might, yeah.
And he can do that more on the scholastic level versus in the pros. But I didn't know that this. I kind of got wind of it a little bit over the summer of this might be a pathway, but then I was like, really? He doesn't want to do this type of stuff. But
yeah, none of the skepticism for me is like he's a really smart and well-spoken guy.
Basketball,
which, by the way, people normally associate those with the same thing, intelligence and being well-spoken. That's not the case. He is both. So he should be great at this.
Super smart about basketball.
Teacher of the game and all that. I just thought that would be more, I'm going to coach. Like he's so competitive. Yeah. Right. That's why he's still in the league, frankly. Right. He's just a insane competitor. So I thought that'd be more on I'll coach. But maybe he's just, look, not everybody wants to be. They might be on charter flights and they might be staying in nice hotels, but some people like to have some stability in their post-playing career. So I wouldn't begrudge him for that.
I look at it like, you're in your final year of college, you got a job lined up. Maybe it's not the job you want, but you got something when you're done. And then if you, something better comes along like coaching,
but
you can switch to that.
Kyle, Lowry, you could have just come on the show a couple of times a year last year just to kind of get into the
little
groove.
practice, yeah.
We know, I'm just saying, but
just don't listen to any of our other shows on this topic.
On him.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, final news in those two things here quickly. Former Sixer KJ Martin on Tuesday was waived by the Utah Jazz. Kyle and Derek had talked about it a lot before the signing with the Sixers a few years ago with the number last offseason when he got the balloon payment, as we talk about balloon payment, 2-year deal. And the second year was non-guaranteed of the $8 million. And the Utah Jazz have waived KJ Martin. So, Derek, what's next in terms, not where he's going, but just what is available to him, non-guaranteed, all of that? What does that look like for KJ Martin?
I mean, I assume he's back on a minimum contract at this point. Like that balloon last year was just to keep a trade chip open. It didn't end up working out. They ended up trying to get off, or they ended up getting off of that contract to, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, duck the tax. And quite frankly, I don't even...
be a shirt, duck the tax.
It should be a shirt.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
we'll
spitball later.
Yeah.
But like it ended up
just
the
a
season,
giant duck emoji and a money bag of cash. That's
I was thinking exactly like Scrooge McDuck. But yeah,
with Derek's face in there somewhere.
Season went sideways. You were not going to be buyers at the deadline, so you kind of understood it. But yeah, I think he is a legitimate back of rotation NBA player. I think his defense is legitimate. Obviously, athleticism is incredible. He has to, he hasn't been able to make that progress as an offensive player. But if you ask me whether or not you'd take him over the commentator that we previously talked about,
that's where I was going to go asking Kyle.
100%.
Should that be the roster spot?
And I don't
have
a lot more analysis to offer on it. But yeah, if you're asking me if I'd rather have KJ or Lowry in the final roster spot, I think that's pretty obvious to me.
We often talk about the power forward position here. Would that help you feel much better about that position?
I feel better. It certainly wouldn't solve
much
all their
better,
problems.
just because of Trendon Watford, and then the guys on the back end.
And he's just something different, right? He's a smaller but very athletic guy who we have seen as a cutter and dunker spot player can be very successful for spurts of time next to Joel, and he fits the bill of kind of who they're going after or what they have said they want to build, right? Younger, more athletic. And he's still how old is KJ now, right?
He's 24?
I thought
24,
I thought I saw
25, something like that. So he's still very much in the age band that they've been looking for. Yeah, he doesn't turn 25 until January, right? So I would certainly entertain taking a flyer on him.
I'd be shocked if he's not on a roster.
He'll be on some roster, I would expect.
Yep. All right, final one. This one is also one of Kyle's favorites, as we talked about Kyle Lowry. According to our good friend and, from Hoops Hype, Mike Scotto, Mo Bamba has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Utah Jazz. I guess taking that roster spot that was just opened up. Mo Bamba, back at it again.
Less Bamba.
Yeah, just glad it's
That's all I have.
You got it. All right, that was a whirlwind of a show. Just a
lot
of stuff going on. Breaking news once again, according to ESPN's Tim Bontemps, another friend to the show. UCL tear for Jared
unlike
McCain.
PG, an actual friend of the show.
Yes.
Maybe we'll clear that with PG tomorrow.
Ask
we'll
him
see.
why he hasn't been on our show. UCL tear for Jared McCain, second-year man, of course, that we were all looking forward to seeing from the very start of the season. Looks like we're going to have to wait a few more weeks and months to find out what he looks like in year number 2 for the Philadelphia 76ers. And Quentin Grimes, according to Gina Mizell, she put out some numbers from theinquirer.com, put out some numbers of a range where the Sixers were reportedly offering 4 for $39, you said? 4 for $39. And Quentin Grimes in his camp are looking more in the $20 to $25 million range annually for that new deal. So we'll see where all of this lands by the time we link back up tomorrow at 3 p.m. here on the PHLY Sixers show, post-media day. Hopefully we have some answers. We'll get a lot of some conversations with a lot of people there at the gym tomorrow. We look forward to doing that right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. All right, it's time for the world famous. Always, it's the roll call.
I want to see more of those roll call emojis in the chat from our supporters club members. I see you, Marcus, in there. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Apologies that it was a little chaotic, but we're dealing with the breaking news just like you are. So
we didn't get a chance to
that's
talk
show
about
business, baby.
Big
As
Brothers,
they say.
Big Sisters, and supporters club, all that stuff. Please just go to allphly.com and help.
And I will more than likely have something written on Jared McCain by some point later today, hopefully with some more information than we had earlier. Thank you to everybody who's here. Thank you to Mom's grandchildren. What's up to Mom? Thank you to Ramid, to Coleman, to Steve-O, to B Knight, Habib, Music Lover 31.
Play that music.
Our guy Al, the 2-minute warning.
What up, Al?
SB Cole, Phil W. stopping in for a non-Ubre show. Look at that. Hello to Phil.
Gotta
Good to
get
see you,
those
buddy.
numbers up.
Anthony, Art, DJ, a.k.a. Excuse me.
Bring me a dream.
Mr. Sandman, Liam Stevens, Sean Ford. Darkness in the building. Jay the Jungle in the building.
Turn the lights down for Omar Cooper. Just because darkness is back.
Marcus Blackstock, Theo.
What up, Mark?
Val, Jess, JS, Doug Craig,
Hey,
Mellow
ladies.
3 Point. Theo, again, I wrote Theo down twice.
What up, Theo?
Congratulations to Theo for 2 times Thursday. Win Forever, Rob T, Hedfa, Mark Jackson, my girl Nona, of course.
Yes.
Dave P,
Hello, ladies.
Densley, all our wonderful
What
people
up, Hedfa?
hanging out with us. It's the last show of the deep off season, and I think it was I can't say it was super fun because we got the Jared news, but we had fun being here and talking about this, right? We'll have even more fun tomorrow and in the weeks and months ahead, actually talking about some real basketball, some real interactions with the team, the GM, the coach, everybody else. We'll have some exclusives for you from Media Day. So stay tuned tomorrow. And of course, all season, we'll be back at 3 p.m. for our normal show.
And make sure you follow at PHLY_Sixers for the latest and the greatest during the day before we get to the show, of course. And again, that's PHLY_Sixers. And make sure you also follow Kyle Neubeck on Twitter for whatever is going on upstairs with, all the things.
That's his way of calling me crazy, by the way.
Not him.
Whatever's going on upstairs.
Yeah, it's just all that stuff going on upstairs in the upstairs part of the building. That's at Kyle Neubeck. And of course, with Derek Bodner, you make sure you go and follow Derek Bodner NBA to find out also what's going on upstairs with all the quotes and videos that they will have for you.
And of course, on the way out, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications each and every time we go live. And hit the thumbs up button to say get well soon. Jared McCain, sending all our best to Jared, but also to say thank you to super producer Bree, rolling with us for nearly an hour 20 today and keeping it together, giving us graphics, doing all sorts of stuff. She's the best. She's why the show keeps going. Come back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Until then, take care of each other. Stay safe. Goodbye.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.